Fuck yeah. Louder than hell. You're tuned to Jam It Out All Badass. Episode 26 today with Brian Llapitan, vocalist of NME. Fucking psyched about this one. As all of them. But yeah, fucking cool as shit. Couple things before I bring him on. He's currently backstage in the Jam It Out All Badass suite, hanging out. What's up, Jeff? What's up, everybody? Yeah, AC/DC, Fraser, you damn right. Just a couple things before I bring him on. Just thanks, everybody. We here reached past 900 subscribers. You know, basically, like I said, the video earlier, it might not seem much, but it's cool as shit to me that everybody's, had people hanging out. Deli tray, just human remains. So, but anyhow, yeah, I just want to thank all of you for supporting the show. Been going at it 4 months now, man. 4 months, so come a long way. Appreciate everybody's help spreading the word about the show. The channel's growing because of you guys, helping me out, getting the word out. So, again, thank you. Like I said, we passed 900. Now let's go for that 1,000. Hell yeah. So anyhow, just want to thank you guys again. You're right on cue. Another thing, just wanted to talk a little bit about Dusty. Just heard the news, a few hours ago. Dusty Hill from ZZ Top. Legendary. Epitome of cool, like I said on the Facebook, shared this photo. Those guys were, legendary is, even that's just kind of an understatement, right? Just total icons. And when I first heard them, it was the Eliminator stuff when I was a kid, like 9-10 years old when that came out. And obviously the videos and all that attracted me to it. The car, the girls in the video, and I got older and I got to more extreme stuff. But later on, I got older. I started going back to some of their older stuff. The 70s stuff, if you will, and just legendary stuff. I mean, 3 guys that could make such a wall of sound, and it's just crazy. ZZ Top is bigger than Jesus. Hey, what's up, Chris? Good to see you, brother. But anyway, if you guys want to, in the chat, want to give your thoughts on them, that's cool. Like I said, I'm not one of these people that's like, one of these musicians or whatever that such icons pass away. It sucks. I did it, actually. I did never see him live, believe it or not. And I live close to Houston. All right, Bobby. Good to know. But no, I didn't. So if anybody wants to, share any cool ZZ Top stories or whatever. But yeah. But yeah, just wanted to spend a couple of minutes just talking about it, because being from the Houston area, and the little band from Texas, little band from Houston, Texas. Get that right. So anyhow, rest in peace Uh, Dusty. Actually, well, I don't have a Dusty story, but I know Billy Gibbons goes around town quite a bit. He was at a friend of mine worked at a music store, and Billy Gibbons would walk in, and he got to work on his music on his guitar, and I think he even gave him a pickup from his guitar, which I thought was cool. But yeah. Anyway, Dusty Hill, man. Fuck yeah. All right. I don't know about that, Dylan. I really don't know. If he was on there, he'd be able to tell us, but he doesn't show up for this shit. So anyhow, thanks everybody for hanging out. Hey, tell everybody we're on here now. Bring everybody in. Y'all be active in the chat. If you have any questions as we go on, write them in the chat, and I will get to them. I'm sure I will. So anyhow, well, all right. Almost forgot. What's wrong with me? Just confirmed the show. I don't know if you guys next Wednesday, a week from today, gonna have Reaper from Reaper Metal Productions on here, talking about his label, and also he does the. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Hellcast podcast that he does. Gonna have him on here, talk about Reaper Metal Production, talk about Hellcast. He was also the singer and or guitar player, singer in Crucified Mortals. But yeah, I have him on here a week from today, so I'll get a flyer made. But I just literally like an hour ago just confirmed it with him, so should be cool. All right. So today, like I said, I'm totally psyched. My guest has been involved in bands like Godspit, Bastard Child, and most notably the legendary NME, which if you're here, you know who they are. Early black metal, death metal, speed metal, thrash metal, whatever the fuck you want to call it, evil metal. American band, definitely deserves the recognition, any recognition they get. Influenced a lot of people from all over the world. So help me welcome Brian Llapitan of NME. How you doing, sir?
How's it going?
Good, man. Good. Like I said, I told you earlier, I appreciate you.
Oh, bad ass.
There you go. I'm gonna need you to record that so I can use that as an intro or something like that. So that'd be cool as shit. Speaking of that, I guess first thing, were you? I don't know if you were ever into ZZ Top or anything. Ever? Did they ever? Yeah, you want to? I don't know if you want to talk. You want to share anything on ZZ Top or Dusty or if you want?
Probably about the same as you. Growing up in the 80s, I pretty much got into them around Eliminator and all that. Yeah. But I remember my brother's 10 years older, so he used to play me the early ZZ Top stuff, which I think is a lot better. But that's what I grew up with was Legs and Give Me All Your Lovin' and stuff. And I listened to them for many years.
Yeah. So
but never did see them though, but they came through here a lot. They used to play our state fair a lot, but it was just one of those things. Never got around to it. Now I wish I would have. Yeah, I mean, they were actually. I think they're on a tour right now. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but being that I grew up right next to Houston, I never got to see them, which is odd. And I've only seen one of my all-time favorite bands one time too. So I don't know. It's just weird how things work out, It happens.
Fraser says you look like Brian Slagle. You ever gotten that?
Like, what?
Like Brian Slagle, the guy from Metal Blade Records? I don't know if anybody's ever told you that.
No, that's a first. I've gotten the one where people say that I look like the guy from Pawn Stars.
Oh,
like
the owner. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know the
main
name,
guy.
but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
So
it's like, yeah, I can't go more than 500. I'm sorry.
yeah, best I can do. But all right. Anyway, so we'll get going. So, are you doing anything musically these days? What's going on? What have you been doing this past strange year that we've had?
I have been working the whole time. I have not gotten any time off during COVID, which pissed me off. I'm a merchandiser for Anheuser-Busch, so they consider me essential, personnel, I guess, so everybody can have their beers to be able to handle being home with their kids all day, So there was that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm pretty much, it's almost like, I guess you'd say, semi-retirement. Like, I'm open to do anything. I'm ready to roll. I just got nothing going on right now is all. I'm working on a few guest recordings for someone special right now. So that
nice.
could be fun.
Cool.
But other than that, not a lot going on because Bastard Child broke up and just maybe hoping once things open back up, I'll get down to Portland, Oregon, and play with Dylan and company down that way, and
nice.
And maybe get back to Coast and play with Mike Keller and Sacred Flood guys and all that.
Sweet. I was going to ask you. I was looking at
it's like I have.
Go ahead.
No, go for it.
No, I was going to ask. I saw on your Twitter that you have.
Say,
oh yeah, there's a delay for some reason. Yeah, go ahead. Oh,
I was just gonna say, yeah, Dylan and those guys are my Portland hookup to do the NME shows, and then back east it's Mike Keller and Lumberjack Brian Smith. So we hooked. They're tied at 2 shows a piece. So I've done 2 in Portland, 2 back east. So a tiebreaker soon.
I assume you're talking about this, the Machine of War.
That is correct.
Yeah. I was going to ask. I was going to save that for later, but we'll discuss it now. So you are planning on doing more live shows with that?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was kind of like. I mean, I would do a third version of this if another state or country wanted to do it. It was kind of like, okay, we'll just name each band after a different song. So right now there's Unholy Death as one band, and there's Machine of War as one band. So we'll just keep going down through the line. And
so Texas can be Lethal Dose or something, or Acid Rain. No, there was an Acid Rain already, but no, that's cool. That's good to hear. Because I was watching some videos of you guys doing this. Like I think it was in Philly or something, and they were pretty wild. I mean, really intense, a lot of energy. I really dug it. So it would be cool to catch this. You doing these songs live for sure.
Yeah, Philly was the Philly Street Metal Fest, I believe it was. And that one was just ridiculous. Midnight was on that one, and I wish I would have talked to them, but they were wearing the mask, so I don't know what they look like. But they were super awesome. Everyone was cool down there, and I'm trying to think of the name. Oh, there was a guy there. He was a Randall Tex Cobb. Do you remember him?
I do.
Football player.
I do. What?
Yeah, he was the doorman. Yeah, he was like the. He's been in a bunch of movies. He was in Raising Arizona as like the bad biker from hell.
Yeah.
But he was the security for this venue. I walk in, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? It kind of blew my mind, and I was kind of intimidated because I was like, I didn't want to bug the guy. He's working, but I should have went and bugged him because I'm like, what's the odds I would ever run across this guy randomly,
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's cool. That's cool to hear that you're still, going to try to do that. Maybe I could get somebody in Houston area, maybe to get you guys down here. That'd be badass. It'd be all badass.
Well, I know that. Damn right. Yeah, Mike had talked about that before, so he's ready to roll. He's always ready to roll. He's the one that started this whole idea in the first place.
Yeah.
Him and He Wang did the whole Defenders of the Faith and got me into that. So kudos to him for starting me up back on that, because I'm like, who the hell would want to see me come out? Because he was like, yeah, somebody wants to get you down here for a festival. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I just figure who gives a shit. And he's just like, no, really, he'll pay to get you down here. And I'm like, all right. So I had no idea, to be honest, because East Coast is way better for metal than Pacific Northwest as far as the fan base goes. So I assumed that it was going to be the same as it is here, which is kind of, lukewarm at best sometimes.
I mean, that's cool. So I guess this means you're going to have to start practicing the songs while you're driving in your car. I saw a video.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, I saw a video for anybody that doesn't know. There's a video of Brian, like, I guess on the way to band rehearsal or whatever, like going over the songs, driving in the car. You can hear him singing. I think it was, I don't remember exactly what song, but I was like, that's fucking cool and hilarious at the same time,
That was just a trip to the mountains, actually.
Oh, what? Okay.
Just out for a drive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're doing what we all do, sing along. It's just so happened to be a album you sang on. Okay, so let's go way back. Let's go back. Growing up, what kind of music was like playing around your house as a kid? Like before you started, like, picking out what you want to listen to. What kind of stuff did your family, your parents, or anybody listen to while you were growing up?
Well, my dad had that styling rad 70s van, and he liked to crank the Creedence Clearwater was the big one for him. And then
Nice.
My brother's music started to filter in through the 80s tracks. So my brother's Pink Floyd would get in there. We get some Eagles going on. And then going to the drive-ins with my cousin and stuff, we'd listen to a lot of the, disco era stuff, but Ted Nugent started filtering in from my brother. Santana started filtering in. ZZ Top. AC/DC, Let There Be Rock was the big one that my brother introduced me to. And those were pretty much it. Before a lot of this, Blue Oyster Cult, that was another one I listened to a ton of when I was young.
Nice.
I call it BC or BM, before metal.
Yeah. yeah, exactly.
And of all things, super huge Tramp fan of all things, if you can believe that shit.
Did you say Supertramp?
Super Tramp.
A friend of mine calls him Super Skank.
You remember them, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So
that was pretty much the start of
what was I going to say? All right. So how did you make the jump to, or going out and searching your own music? What was like the first things you got into that nobody else like had an influence on?
Well, the first thing I did have an influence on for metal, what I consider my first two metal things, were Ace of Spades and Judas Priest British Steel. And I had never heard anything like that because I was making the leap from Blue Oyster Cult and Ted Nugent. So once I found those, I was like, I got to go find more of this stuff. So off to the record store. I think the first couple of things, a lot of classic stuff. So Saxon, the first big 2 Accept albums were huge for me. Restless and Wild and Balls to the Wall. The first 2 Motley Crue albums, kind of listened to a lot of, the butt rock era stuff. Discovered Merciful Fate at that time, which it was kind of running the gamut, but pretty much all the good stuff. Iron Maiden, early Def Leppard. That was like all the good stuff from like 82, 83.
Yeah, a lot of new wave of British heavy metal.
Oh yeah, Raven was also a huge one.
That's cool. Yeah, and it was all, like you said, brand new at the time. So I can only imagine what that was like growing up and listening to this stuff, like coming out, brand new, something brand new, So it was like, I could just imagine like a kid's just like, whoa,
Well, it was, you go to the store and it was like new stuff every week. I mean, stuff you'd never heard of because it was all new. So you couldn't look up on the internet. It was just like, well, I guess I'll buy this because the cover looks cool.
Yeah.
Exciter, Violence and Force, best cover ever. And I'm just like, oh, this is going to be good. Or Fate's Warning, stuff like that. It's just like you were just basing it all on the covers. So there were a few turds in there, but it was all personal preference, really.
Yeah. Venom, obviously, right? Venom.
Here's the thing. So the harder stuff came when I got in the band. And the way that happened was, so Kurt introduced me to Venom, Celtic Frost, Celtic Frost, whatever you want to say. We all say Celtic Frost.
Yeah, that's what we say here.
Warfare, The Accused. Yeah, he got me into all that. And once I heard Venom, I'm like, holy shit, this is so much different than what I had been listening to because I didn't think people sang like that, So when those flooded open, then we started looking for stuff. And then the whole world was wide open.
I mean, it's safe to say that Kronos was an influence on you vocally, and who else was like an influencer? What were you trying to do, like, with your vocals back then?
Oh, the thing with the Venom, I guess, I don't know, imitation's not quite there because I wasn't trying to do that on purpose. So when we were doing practice, I was trying to sing clean, and it was fine. But it was nothing spectacular, just like everybody else. But I made a growly noise on Warrior, I think it was, and we played it back because I used to audio tape everything, and I still have tons of those tapes. But we played it back, and he's like, wait a minute. He's like, that noise you made, can you sing the whole song that way? And I'm like, I don't know, but what the fuck, give it a shot. And then I just started doing it the whole time that way. And I think if there was any Kronos Venom stuff getting in there, it wasn't on purpose. It was just kind of filtered in. We listened to it all the time. Same with Tom G. Warrior vocals, they're kind of in there too. But it was never intentional, like, I got to do it like this. It was just kind of what happened.
Right. Let me ask you. I don't know if you can. We're having a delay thing. I've never had this issue, so I don't know if you can like log off and then click back on that link I sent you and see if that'll help it out.
Well, let's see what happens here.
Cool.
So I just hit leave and then come back.
Yeah, just leave and then come back, and you'll click the same link that it'll bring you right back to me.
All right. Be right back.
All right, guys. So hopefully when he comes back, there won't be that delay. I feel like I'm talking to somebody like, what was the saying? Yeah, Enemy Rules. Uh, Closed circuit or what the fuck? Oh, live via satellite. All right, I see him popping in. Let's see what happens. All right, let me see. Can you hear me in real time? Hmm.
Yes.
Hello, hello.
What do you think? Is it working? Or we still have a weird delay?
Yeah, I think so. Let me try it. Let me just give me 1 second, because it's. I mean, we can make it work, but let me. I just want to make sure we. This. I don't know what's going on, so just give me a second. Everybody, please be patient with me. Y'all know, those of you that watch this
Sure
has never
thing.
happened before.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Hey everybody, it's Brian. How's it going? Acid rain. Jamming out all bad ass.
That's what I have to say. I didn't know I was going to have to host the show, but apparently Francisco's gone. So,
All right, so I'm here. Let me see. I don't know.
show
Can you hear me?
belongs to me now.
Oh, okay. Maybe not. I'm still having issues. All right, so we'll make it
I
work.
can hear you. And I
Okay, we'll make it work. So I'm gonna start. Where was I? All right, so forming the band. Talk a little bit about forming the band and getting the band together. The band obviously being NME. How that came about, how you got in the band, and so forth.
Okay, so from my side of this, it was a brilliant plan. In reality, it was the stupidest thing ever. So we had a local paper called The Rocket, and local music paper, been around a long time at that point. You could put an ad in, start a band, all that. So I decided to say that I was looking for people for my band, even though I was the only one in it, which really is brilliant. So I put that ad out, and then Kurt contacted me and said, "Hey, we have a band, we need a new singer, so you want to come here and try out?" So I went down there, tried out, and we clicked. So we pretty much went from there. They had a different singer at that point and a different name. The band was Night Prowler, and I don't know what the deal was with their singer. I think maybe it was personal issue. Different at that point. We had a drummer, Kathy Bopane, who I think it's girlfriend she was, and so then we started listening to more heavy stuff, and then we're like, we need to change the name since it's a different singer. The old songs were getting reworked a lot, so we just figured out, hey, let's change the name. And I don't remember who came up with it at this point, but we figured on Enemy, but then we wanted to spell it differently to be kind of, I don't know, just there was never anything behind the anagram, whatever you call it, because people are like, Enemy stands for New Metal Express. No mental energy, no more enemas. It doesn't mean anything. That's the big secret, because people are like, oh, it always meant something. But we would make up new things too, so that didn't help the case any. So we'd make up new things. But we just started, just all the time, and eventually, once we started getting into the sound we wanted, we started doing locals in Seattle and stuff.
Cool. The demo, the Machine of War demo. Oh shit.
Steve Emerson.
Yeah, Yeah, there's something going on. I think he froze.
There we go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you kind of got cut off towards the end there. I don't know if you can you talk about the recording of the Machine of War demo, kind of what you remember about that session, if anything, and what you guys were, what was your goal with getting that demo done and out?
Well, here's the thing. Kurt was the driving force behind everything. The rest of us are pretty fucking lazy. So I give credit to him all the way on getting anything out there, because he was sending letters to people. He had contacts. He was doing it all. And I was typical singer, lazy guy that shows up to sing and then wants to go home, you know. But he set up, we saved up some money. I want to say they probably pitched in more because I think I was 17 at the time. And my parents probably thought it was ridiculous in the first place, but, you know, who blames them? So saved up the money, went to a place called Agostino Studios and did the demo. And then he started mailing it out everywhere on the planet that he could. And it was getting good traction. So he's like, okay, we'll get these other songs nice and tight. And then we will, start working on the full length. And then that's pretty much what happened. And I prefer the demo version, to be honest. A lot of people do. But as far as like a lot of these takes were one take deals. I had isolated vocals, but we were still playing it, trying to play it all live at the time. It's just the way we did it, and it worked out better. But there's a lot of vocal fuck ups, and that's why. Just because it's like I was not as tight as I am now, so to speak. Don't tell everyone I'm not tight. But yeah, I'm young and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but we started getting, tighter and tighter, but it was still sloppy like Venom. And I think having them as influences didn't help in that respect because they weren't known for their quality musicianship at times. So, it was what it was. We were just trying to get it out there. So we weren't really micromanaging and thinking, we got to make this sound better. It's got to be tighter and stuff. It was like, get through a take, and if it sounded good, we'll go.
Yeah. Start together and end together, right?
Pretty much. I mean, it's funny too, because on the album, for many years, I did not have any idea that there's basically another album on there of all outtakes. I think I found that out when the CD got released. And I just let it run one day, and other versions started popping in. I'm like, how the hell did I not even know this? So it was kind of weird to see. And most of them were my screw ups I was kind of I'm not really super outgoing, but back then I was super shy. So I would kind of, if I fucked up a word, I would I'd mumble it. So there's a lot of low vocals because I'd kind of be like, oh shit. When it goes low, that means that Brian doesn't know what he's singing. And so there's a lot of that, but it was just weird to find this stuff later,
Yeah. I think I took this off of the band Facebook page or something like that. But these, it's like a flyer of, I guess people would write you guys, and it was like kind of like a saying, here, let me read through some of these. There's some people that are kind of well known. Don K, fucking heavy and weird. Who else did I see on here? Actually, you know what? I see it right here. Bree G from Texas. Actually, my buddy Kevin, that's his sister, and he actually gave me a few things to show today. So I just noticed that she was on there. That's crazy. I just noticed that.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Bree G,
I've
yeah.
never even seen this thing till recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's I'd seen it maybe a couple months ago because I've seen the demo cover, but I'd never seen the testimonial version, so things pop out of the woodwork from time to time, and it kind of surprises me still.
Yeah, there's one that's Killjoy. He says, "Hello, my name is Killjoy." That's all he said. Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, this is cool. I had never seen this till I was like I said, looking around, researching for stuff, and I thought this was pretty cool. Talking about you guys. All right, so the album. You guys recorded the album. Was it the same studio, or did you go somewhere else?
Yeah, it was the same studio. We just saved up a little bit more money is all. And then re-recorded the demo versions, obviously. Like I said, I wish we kind of would have. I don't know, the mix on the first one I liked better. And maybe it's because we didn't know the songs as well, but it seemed like it had a better raw feeling. The album sounds like it was kind of made in a bathroom or a gymnasium. So I'm not a fan of that sound, but some of that got fixed when it got re-released too, so that helps.
That's funny. Let me show you something. I got this from my buddy Kevin, whose sister was on that. I think he got this from Kurt. I don't know if you've seen these or not, but it'll show up. It'll pop up here in a second.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, and I'll scroll it. I'll scroll so you can.
That was all Kurt.
Yeah, I'm gonna. For those of you who can't see it that well, I'm gonna read some of it for everybody because I thought it was kind of wild. So it says, "I am Christ. I am the beast. This is Armageddon. I may be insane, but how will you prove it? You can kill me as you killed Christ. I am human." Going on. I merely offer suggestions to help. Christ was born nearly 2,000 years ago. It is 1985. If Christ were born today, he would be called certifiably insane. So I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty wild shit.
Yeah, that was all that stuff was Kurt. The art, the words, everything. So, and it kind of got me in a bit of trouble, with some of my friends and mainly the family because they didn't know what the hell this was. They're like, "Are you a Satanist or what are you doing?" Because it was all back the days of the Satanic Panic, so that doesn't help. And
right.
So I'm just like, to me it was just like Venom stuff. Like they didn't believe it either. It was just like whatever. But Kurt was in a different place, so we know how that ended. So maybe not the best path to have went down. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, here's another one I wanted to show you. I think I got this from Kevin as well. This is actually something from Kurt sent out, kind of like a newsletter, I guess. You guys were doing like a newsletter at the time. And you should be able to see it here shortly.
Oh yeah.
And what's funny, it was written on a U.S. Marine Corps piece of paper.
Yeah. That's kind of interesting. Because I know none of us were in the service.
Oh, you had?
Sure.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you something he wrote on here.
What's that?
I was going to ask you something on here that he wrote. You're planning on releasing a 12-inch EP, tentatively titled "Rites of Self-Destruction." Do you remember anything about that?
No. Nope. All I knew about was the album we did, the demo we did, and there was just loose talk of something else later. But he had a lot of plans, so I wouldn't be surprised if he told people all kinds of things we were going to do.
So looking back on the album, let me put looking back on the album all these years later, 35 years later now. What are your thoughts on that album? I mean, are you proud of the album? Obviously, I mean, you're playing the song still nowadays. So, what are your thoughts on the Unholy Death album all these years later?
Well, I'm proud of it, but it's kind of weird because without the controversy, I honestly don't know where it would have fallen. I don't know if it would have been highly regarded or just forgotten over the years. Who knows? But and listening to I listen to it from time to time, but I'm really critical of myself. I think they did a great job, but it's always like, what could I do better? That sort of thing. And the other thing is listening to it now compared to the stuff that's out now. It seems very, it's almost quaint at times because people are doing blast beats and it's just ridiculous how fast and heavy shit is. And then there's like Louder Than Hell, which is, I love it, but it just seems so tame in comparison to some of this new stuff. So, but I still love it though.
I mean, yeah, you say that. I mean, yeah, things have gotten faster, but I mean, to me, it's all about feel, and this album definitely has a lot of feel. It's heavy, it's evil, it's noisy. I mean, to me, it still stands up against anything nowadays. I mean, I know this just coming from my point of view, but I know a lot of people agree with that opinion. But it definitely, to me, still stands up against anything.
Well, thank you. And where do I send the check?
Send it to nowhere. All right, so let's what else? Let's talk a little bit about the go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
About that rad hairstyle I got going on? Hell yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let me go ahead and put it up. Yeah.
As you sit there and mock me with your full head of hair, how rude.
Yeah, there's the photo.
Yeah, that's not as good as the I'm hoping you've seen the hand-holding photo somewhere.
I'm not sure which one. Oh, yeah, of course. Here it is.
Have you seen the hand? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's the best one.
Talk about this
we
photo
did both
shoot.
of those at a local. This photo shoot was done at one of these. Used to have lots of photography studios where you just go in and get your family photos and stuff. And we decided we were going to do the band photos there. And I don't know who came up with this. It was probably Scott or Kurt. But we thought it'd be funny as hell if we were holding hands like we were perhaps more than friends. Because back in the day, it was kind of a funny thing. So, but it's still classic. And then Scott's got his 2 cigarettes hanging out of his mouth, so that was nice. But looking all badass, holding hands. That should have been the album cover right there.
Yeah.
Would you have bought that if that was the album cover?
Yeah. Why not?
People would have been like, "What in the hell's that shit?" Might have sold more.
I don't know. I think it's it's a cool photo. Let me zoom it in a little bit. Zoom in the hand holding. There we go.
We got a Pee Wee Herman shirt.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that coat would never even slightly fit me now. That coat is so. I mean, like, I think I was weighing like 160 there, 150, which is anything I would dream of now. But
What's going on?
I remember though the photographer was very confused by what we were doing because there were some shots that got lost that were they had like leaves in the background, like a forest background, but it wasn't like cool black metal. It was like autumn, happy pumpkin carving type of stuff. Sad thing is when Kurt passed away, all of his stuff got I think the master recordings and a lot of photos and band stuff just got tossed somehow. So it's a shame that the stuff never resurfaced because those were pretty funny.
Yeah, that's great. Fraser wants to know what's up with the porn stash.
Hey, I was just becoming a man. What do you want from me? I can go the full porn stash now, but my wife would not allow that very much. I think she'd be very unhappy.
That's great.
Uh-oh. Got a burp coming.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Record that. So, did you guys did you play out a lot? Did you do a lot of live shows?
As we could do. I mean, the thing was, from what my recollection, in different perspectives, but a lot of the bands did not like us. They thought we were shit music, and I don't know if that played into booking sometimes, but a lot of the bands didn't like us. But we managed to play a fair amount. Pretty much mainly Seattle. I think we played some Federal Way stuff from time to time, but it was all pretty much up that direction. I don't remember Tacoma at all, but it was all within the state. It was all pretty much up north.
Yeah, I'll get into the shows again in a second, but I forgot to mention. I don't know why on the Satan's Revenge. What was the reason that only Of Hell made the album? I mean, obviously it was a fuck up. Do you recall anything about this?
That it was the dumbest thing ever. I know that Kurt had sent in some stuff to them. Why did they just use and not actually use a song? It was the dumbest. It's kind of funny. I like the album cover a lot, but I wish we would have had a song on it. That would have been nice, Would have smoked those guys on that thing.
Yeah, totally.
Enemy would have smoked Snake Bite. I'll tell you that right now.
Snake Bite. Oh shit. Here's the cover.
Snake Bite.
Snake Bite. There's the cover. Which I don't.
Yeah, why they went with Crazy Monkeys, I don't know, but whatever.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't get the cover.
No, we didn't either. See, there's the true story, is to find out who made this album, find out who made that cover and why.
There you go. I'm on it. All right, so going back, do you remember what the first live show was? What was the first live show you guys played?
The amount of your days to figure it out. I'm old and I do not remember.
Oh wow.
Likely.
Well, let me see if I can refresh.
A fair amount of shows at Gorilla Gardens, so it was probably there.
Let me see if I can refresh your memory. I have some flyers here. Let me find it. Let me find it. Here's one. I don't know what this is. You guys played at Gorilla Gardens March 7th. You remember this?
Let's see here. Yeah.
It's
Say who? Oh, there we go.
Shock Treatment
Trying
and
to see if, no. Yeah, that one I don't remember so much, but they all kind of ran together to me. Kind of like the shows I do now. I mean, a lot of the stuff where I had more time, Bastard Child, all that stuff runs together for the most part, except for when I did something really weird. So that I'm like, oh, I remember that. But these ones were all pretty much me just trying to get through it, I guess you'd say. Because I didn't have the I didn't have a lot of confidence sometimes in what I was doing, you know. So, like I said, shy guy in the end, and then I'd do the show and go, oh, shit, you know, get all nervous and stuff. But so a lot of those blurred together for me. But a lot of them took place at Gorilla Gardens. Those are the majority of the ones I remember.
what about this one? Let me pull up another one. It's NME, Accused, and Mayhem.
Oh yeah, The Accused. Yeah, Mayhem, not the Mayhem that everyone thinks. It was a different Mayhem. I want to say that it was Scott Tinsley's brother in that band. And Kurt was pretty good friends with The Accused. I met them a few times, but I didn't really know them because we lived in different towns. So I would have to drive to Federal Way from Puyallup, which is where I grew up. And they were older too. So they kind of hung out in the North End more. But watching The Accused, I will tell you, probably, I mean, I don't know that I've been more jealous of a band we played with than with The Accused, because Blaine, the singer of The Accused, was one of the most energetic singers I've ever seen in my life. Just running around, jumping around, and still does a pretty damn impressive job these days when he plays shows too. So I was kind of always in awe of their energy, and their music was damn good too.
Oh yeah, I love The Accused. Funny you mentioned Blaine, because he told me that Mayhem on the flyer is actually the first band that the Slayer hippie from Poison Idea was in. So there's a little trivia for you guys.
Nice to know. Yeah, he would. Those guys know all that stuff because The Accused were playing just everywhere. So to me, they're the true gods of the Northwest metal scene, because they were just unstoppable, at least until original line.
Yeah. Do you remember playing at a place called the Masonic Temple, or did you play? Do you remember playing there?
Doesn't really ring a bell too much. I remember we did play a few off shows in other places, so it's a lot of them slipped my mind. Yeah, Masonic Temple sounds very familiar. I kind of remember that was at Mace. Yeah, it's funny. I played with a couple guys I didn't know. Back in the day, it was Rob and Vern from the Pleasure Elite, and ended up being in Godspit with Rob. I didn't know both those guys were in Mace because, like I said, I wasn't as social. So as soon as the shows were over, and I had a girlfriend too, so as soon as the shows were over, I pretty much get in the car and go home. So I kind of blew my chance to mingle and get to know people too. But I think a lot of that had to do with I was also not a drug user, still not a drug user, but because I'm kind of a whack job as it is, so I kind of like to keep it mellow. But so I kind of didn't socialize a lot, and so I really missed out on a lot, I think, by not talking to some folks.
Yeah, I actually, so I asked Blaine also about this flyer, and he told me that you guys, that Vermont actually from Portland took your place on this show because it was, how can I put this? This was, I guess this was when Kurt had gotten into trouble, like right before that.
See, I recalled it as a different show, but you could be right. Because I know the whatever show we were supposed to play was with the Accused. But I think there's another flyer that I have that shows that with, I think it was like a John Holmes on the cover of the flyer for some reason. But yeah, I remember after that happened, I was going to go to the show and kind of thank everyone for coming out and kind of let people know what's going on. But I was too messed up at that point from the whole ordeal that I was like, I just don't want to talk about it at all to anyone, you know?
Right. So let me ask you this. So somebody asked it earlier. I gotta ask you, what was, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff being said, and you were obviously friends with the guy. Can you tell us what Kurt was really like? Because, you know, there's so much stuff that you hear, bullshit stuff over the years. I don't know if you mind talking about that, letting everybody know what was the guy really like.
Oh, not at all. Well, the thing is, there's two different Kurt periods, obviously. There's the Kurt before the incident and then Kurt after. Kurt before, when we had, super cool guy, always got along well with him. Great sense of humor, funny guy, you know, always cool to hang around and stuff. There was no indications of that road that he was headed down, I don't think. He loved his adopted mother, which, you know, obviously with what happened, you're like, how is that possible? But I'd been over there a couple of times and met her, and she's really cool. And so, you know, it's just one of those things where it's hard to tell because I'm put in that situation. I mean, he was getting very paranoid leading up to it. A lot of thoughts of people following him and things like that. But, you know, you never know if the music or the lyrics and the things he believed were starting to, I don't know, take over along with the drug use. Because the thing is, all I saw was pot smoking and drinking beers. I didn't see any of the stuff he did that, you know, people rumored about, that he was drinking cleaning products and shit. I don't know about any of that stuff, but we got along well. So when that happened, it was a 100% surprise to me. It wasn't like, you know, something happens and people say, oh, I saw that coming. Never saw it coming. Not for a second. So it really just kind of came down out of nowhere. But I ran across him again after he got out. He got a hold of me in the 90s about, you know, the first re-release, and then like maybe playing some shows or something. And I remember we played one show, and I think it was more like a house party sort of situation. Kid and play house party. But it was presented to me that I should rejoin the band, but I would only be singing the old songs, and anything I came up with they would sing together. And I declined because I wasn't a fan of that idea. My whole thing was like, well, we've done this stuff. Why can't I, like, you know, grow and do some new things too? So that was always an odd one to me. But so after that, I think the next time I ran across them was they were a band called Grunt Truck that used to be around here. They were kind of supposed to be in the upper echelon of, they were like if it was the big five or the big four of grunge bands, they were like 6. So they just missed the boat by just a tiny hair. But I remember my cousin wanted to see them, so we went in, and I walked in, and I saw that NME was opening, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? And I was just like, it kind of freaked me out. So I was just like, just because I'm like, I'm not part of it, and I haven't talked to him forever, so I didn't see that show. And then fast forward to later on, when we did get back together, me and Kurt talked a lot because he had tracked me down through, I was trying to do some filmmaking at the time, so he tracked me down via that webpage I had been trying to get movie making stuff going. And, you know, he wanted to get the band back together the way it used to be because he felt that it was a little stagnant the way they were going. I think they'd put out 2 albums and it wasn't where he wanted to go. So he wanted to get some spice back in there and bring me back on. And at that point, he was a totally different person. I mean, different guy than I knew, like maybe what he should have been all along. He had been married. He had a kid. He was doing a lot of stuff with local bands as far as fundraisers for people who got their gear ripped off. And, you know, he was a little league coach. And I think he did some benefits for military and stuff too. So whatever he had done, obviously it was the worst thing he could do, but he was trying his damnedest to make it up to himself and everybody else, you know? So we joked around and it, you know, he had thrown it out there if you want to talk about what happened and stuff. And my thing was it was kind of like, I knew what happened. So, and I knew it takes time for it. So I was just like, you know, I trust you and everything's cool. And, you know, he's very friendly and a super awesome guy. So it was kind of better the second time around, to be honest with you.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you you talking about that because I mean, I know it kind of follows you, so you know, I wasn't too sure if you wanted to talk about it, but again, I appreciate you giving your side of that. You were actually there, and I appreciate you answering that. Turns out there's a band called Have you heard Sacrificial Blood's version of Lethal Dose? Have you heard any bands cover versions of NME songs that you liked?
Well, I definitely like Sacrificial Bloods for sure. So that was actually, I remember right after Kurt died or before, he had been talking to Mike. So I think when he died, I took it upon myself to kind of let people know that, you know, he had died. And some of the closer people like Yasuyuki from Abigail and Mike Keller, that's when me and Mike became friends. So he had sent me the tapes and I got to hear him. And I was just like, again, we never expected this in 1,000 years to become a thing. I mean, Kurt would laugh his ass off today because he's like, I remember he told me, he's like, there's this band from Japan and they think we're fucking awesome. That's so funny. I can't even believe this shit, you know? They got to meet more, but it's just weird to us, you know? It was just like, we did it and that was that. So anytime any covers it, I'm super stoked. I haven't heard a ton of it though. I forget, there was one band that had done it, but I don't remember their name. There might be another couple coming thing to do with one or two of them, who knows? But I'd like to hear more people, big bands, get hold of it and do some stuff just for fun, you know.
My buddy Mike, he's got a band called Ruin, and I think I don't remember what release it was, but they covered Warrior. They're like a totally down-tuned, heavy death metal band. but they do a cool job covering Warrior. I'll try to find that for you and send it to you.
That's one's tied with Acid Rain as my favorite song. I just like because a lot of the faster stuff blends together sometimes, but I love that one because the beginning is spooky and eerie with the guitar sounds and stuff. Always love that. So I will totally love hearing that for sure. We all love Mad Max, so that's our big thing, you know.
Yeah, Abigail. You mentioned Abigail. They did an entire tribute to NME.
Well, yeah, I was on a few of those songs. I think that was the first thing I had ever come out of retirement to do I call it retirement. It was just I wasn't doing anything. I remember they got a hold of me, and I got a hold of Russ from the Brain Dead because they were big fans of ours and friends. So I had went to his little home studio and did the vocals on that. Not my best work, but it was my first work, so I'll take it. I'm trying to improve on that. I hadn't recorded for so long that it was not as heavy as I would have liked, you know.
You're too hard on yourself, man. You're too hard on yourself.
I have a good story for you though.
Please share. This show's all about good stories.
Scott loved this story so much. There was a place in Tacoma called Neeners, and Kurt and the 3-piece Enemy was playing a show, and I think that Abbott, which is also mind-boggling to me. But they tried. It was the other way around. It was Abigail was playing, and Kurt tried to make their way up because they were playing an Enemy cover, I believe it was, and to get up there, being like, "Hey, this is our song. We want to, But nobody knew who they were, so the security guys were like, "You guys aren't getting on stage," and they were kind of, pushing them off and making sure they couldn't get in there. So I always love that epic fail story. They thought it was hilarious that they got denied by their idols,
That's great. Let me ask you about this. Is this yours?
That's when you want to say, "Do you know who I am?" But
yeah, exactly. I got a photo I want to show you. I don't know if this is yours, and if it is, I would like to see it.
Let's see. It's not being either. One that resides with Mike Keller. He was trying to make a dupe of it, and it's in such rough shape that he took it. I think he took it to Walgreens or something. They couldn't do it, and they said it was because it snags and it has issues. But I told him to keep it in hopes that maybe he can find someone that can do a better job of duplicating it. Maybe put it in a new shell or something, because the tape's still good. But it has the making of on there, which is pretty funny shit. And I think that video you played at the start, the Louder Than Hell parking lot video, and then the live show too that you have seen. So hopefully if somebody has any leads on where he can get that transferred properly, he will put it on YouTube. So that's the goal. I want to pass that on, because if anyone can get it done, it's Mike.
That fucking rules. People would just. I'd love to see that in the studio recording that album. I know many people would would as well. That's amazing. Hopefully that happens. So, and we'll be able to see that.
Yeah, get those FBI guys, the ones that can do digital restoration on, something that's been through a hurricane or something, because I know it's there. You just gotta somehow get it out there is all.
Yeah, you mentioned that video. I was going to ask you, that video for "Louder Than Hell," was that something you guys did, or was that, or who put that together? Was that a fan made thing, or what? I've always wanted to know about that video, because I love it.
That was the budget was $500,000, and it was pro shot by James Early Days. So a lot of people are not familiar. No, seriously. No, the deal was we did that parking lot video, and that's why it doesn't sync up correctly, because you'll see that I walk off while we all walk off while the music's still going on. So we just put the thing out of the car or something. I don't know how we ended off sync, but they thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. We just said, just let it roll. So it's kind of funny that we just walk off and the music's still going, but that was behind the studio. And I think that night they had the local rent-a-cops nearby. And I want to say we were breaking bottles behind the studio, being stupid kids. And the rent-a-cops showed up, and they were not happy. So they were giving a shit because we're long hairs, and they're like, we're going to call the police. So they call the police. The real police show up, and they're like, what the fuck is this? This is ridiculous that you're bothering us with this. And I remember the guy asked me, he says, what are you guys doing? And I said, well, we're shooting a music video for our band. He says, well, what do you do? And I said, I'm a singer. And he says, well, can you sing then? I was like, damn it. I think I told him, I said, it's not singing like you know it. I said, it's a whole different heavy metal sort of thing. And he was like, you could tell he was an older guy, so that wasn't his cup of tea. But I was just like, but then again, he might have given us a ticket if he had heard what came out of my mouth, But and they were pissed at the rent-a-cops. They're giving them a few choice words. Like, you assholes are, wasting our time with these 4 punk kids. So, it was pretty awesome.
That's glad that makes that video even better for me now. Let me see what else was looking. I was going to show you something else real quick. I think. Let me find it. It's here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Now, is this yours? Wait for the photo to come up. Do you still have this?
Let's see. Oh, see, now that one, that also is new information for me as of like 6 months ago, because I had never heard of a test pressing an album in my life. And I know that Mike was trying to trade for that for the longest time. Mike is the biggest fan of the band ever. And he was trying to get something for that. And the guy that owns it is like, nope, not going to happen. Is that your friend that owns that?
No, I don't think so.
I'd like to know what's on it, though. I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm sure it's just the album, but you never know. I mean, I'd love to hear like if it's a different mix or what it is, but it's I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that rules. All right, so let's start winding it down here. If anybody has any questions you want me to ask Brian. Oh. If anybody has any questions you want to ask, go ahead and ask them now, and I'll get to them. Just start winding it down now. So go ahead and post them now. If it's something else you're dying to know, while they're doing that, let me ask you about.
I could die at any.
It's funny. Let me ask you about this band.
Should I promote? So yeah, is that one? That's another one of my favorite things, and also one of my biggest regrets, I guess. After Kurt had died, I became friends with Rob. I went to some Go Like Hell shows, which was the band he had, his punk band back in the day. Back in the day, after say 2000s and stuff, 90s or whatever. And I met him, and we talked and became friends. And he originally, what had happened was, the first thing that happened was he was making another Pleasure lead album. So he wanted to do a couple songs on it. And I was like, hey, that's cool. Pleasure lead. They were just the best. And at the time, he didn't tell me what it was going to be, kind of thing, but we did those songs, and those went well. And then later he's like, what do you think about doing a different project? It's all like Motorhead style. And I was all in, and it was like totally something I do. We made a demo that was physically, and then we went full shows. But it, I don't know. Around here, it would think, and we had some troubles with the lineup. I think guys weren't really into it as much as we love old Motorhead. That was our jam, and I think that people were just not into it for whatever reason, which pissed me off because the music is so good. There's some good stuff on there. If you like Motorhead, it's online. You can find it on Amazon or whatever. But we never had enough time together as a unit with member changes and stuff to ever nail it down and get it solid. The shows were solid. We practiced the shit out of them, and those were very well done. We just didn't get the time under our belt to, do it further. But we got some good shows in. Played with a local band called Witchburn, and then we got to be on the bill with Raven, which was nice. We were like the first band of show with Raven. And the cool thing about that was with Raven, I had won tickets to Raven when I was like, let's say 15, something like that. Mom would not let me go because she's like, you're too young, you are not going. And I did not go. And they never came back until the year that we played with them. And I remember we got in a big thing with our drummer, Joe. He didn't feel we were ready to do the show. And he's like, yeah, I don't think we sound good enough, so I don't want to do this show. And I don't get pissed off that much, but that pissed me off so bad. Because I was like, dude, this is all I ask. I just want to play with this just one time. And he gave in, and we played the show. Got to meet him. They said they saw the show and said we were good. Whether or not they did or not, I don't know. But they were super cool dudes, and I was glad that happened. And then we put out the full-length album, and we're trying to shop it around to get somebody to take it, but nobody wanted it. None of the labels wanted it, so Rob released it online, and it's been out there ever since. But it's a shame it was not heard more, because there's some good stuff on there.
Yeah, I heard some of it. I dig it. I'll put a link up to it if anybody wants to check out Godspit. It's cool. Like I said, Motorhead type rock and roll stuff with some, rough kind of vocals, and I don't know. I dig it. It's catchy stuff. So I'll put that up on the description later on if you want to check it out after we get done with the live stream. That way you can check out more of that stuff. So anyhow, yeah, I know you do, Fraser. So I guess gonna go ahead and wind it down. Is there anything you want to mention that you got going on? Anything coming up or that you'd like to share?
Well, first off, Ronnie Ripper. Other than that, I'm just open to doing stuff with people. So if anyone has a problem in having some old man metal vocals on, hit me up. I do it for fun. I don't do it for myself. If you got a cool band, you're coming through town, you want to do a cover or something, hit me up. I'm always up for it. Other than that, not too much. Just living the dream in the Pacific Northwest, as they say. I'm doing a little voiceover, trying to get jobs doing that. I have my eBay store that I'm working on, vintage, so you can buy NME albums on there too, and CDs and tapes and so. Sometimes I'll have a shirt or two on there, but other than that, that's about it. Just living life.
Awesome, man. Yeah, just if you want, just send me the links to whatever you have, and I'll put them in the description of the video, and people can go check out your stuff through there. And I will actually, I'd like to see you play down here, play those songs in Houston. Maybe I'll see if I can talk to people, convince people to bring you guys down one time. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, we'd love to do it. I mean, hit those guys up, hit up the East Coast crew or whoever, because we'll be down there in a heartbeat. I mean, thing is, I also want some good barbecue to treat myself, and we don't have that here, so I need me some.
Well, yeah, Houston is, yeah. There's plus me. So, Brian, I want to thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate it. It was an honor to get to talk to you, talk about, the good old days and what you got going on now. So, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Everybody, thanks for hanging out. And I will talk to everybody.
Thanks for having me, and keep doing what you're doing, because it's awesome, and I love watching your stuff. So keep the faith. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Brian, I'm gonna put you backstage. I'm gonna kind of end the show, and I'll get up with you here shortly. So again, thank you.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, there it is. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Learned some cool stuff didn't know about that video shoot, which is cool. Shared some cool stuff. So thanks for hanging out. Again, reminder, next Wednesday I got Reaper from Reaper Metal Productions and the Hellcast podcast. You should check out that Hellcast podcast. It's pretty cool. I've seen a few of actually more than a few of their episodes online. You can just search Reaper Metal Productions. Saludos. Just search Reaper Metal Productions on YouTube, and you'll find he's got a lot of cool stuff on there, and his label Reaper Metal. There you go. So Reaper will be here. Also, might do my buddy Roy might do an AC/DC panel show. I know this is mostly dedicated to extreme underground music, but I'll talk AC/DC all day long, anytime, with people who love AC/DC just as much as I do. So gonna work on putting that together. So, and yes, we'll talk about fraternity, Fraser. Shit. So anyhow, again, everybody, thanks for hanging out. Let's jam out all badass, shall we?
Woman